Minnesota and Wisconsin have joined together with 5 other states to coordinate a plan on reopening the Midwest. It comes as President Trump unveiled his plan to begin reopening parts of the country on May 1st. Danny Spiewak is live at the Capitol tonight with how it's going to work. Danny?
Well, Randy, the president's Opening Up America Again plan leaves it up to the states to decide. But a lot of states and some top Democrats tonight have criticized the plan, saying that it lacks action on testing support and doesn't address the critical lab supply shortages that labs have seen across the country. And here in Minnesota, it doesn't appear to change the strategy all that much from the Walz administration standpoint, because the peak here could still be many weeks away. Here's the first thing you should know about the Opening Up America plan.
It will be staggered. Not every state, not every region is going to do it at the same time. That's clearly obvious.
The federal guidelines are just that, guidelines. They lay out 3 phases for states. Phase 1, where some people could slowly come back to work. Places like movie theaters might open with strict social distancing, and vulnerable people would stay isolated. Phase 2, where schools could open and normal travel could resume. And Phase 3, where most everything could reopen with precautions.
But you don't get to Phase 1 until you get through the gating.
The gating means a state should see cases drop for 14 days and have widespread testing for healthcare workers before starting to reopen.
I think 29 states are in that ball game, not for opening, but I think they'll be able to open relatively soon.
President Trump refused to name states, but in Minnesota, state models show a COVID-19 peak pushed out to June or July. And the governor has said he wants to get to 40,000 tests a week before safely reopening. On Thursday, Walz made headlines when he joined a Midwest coalition of 7 states, pledging to work together on reopening the regional economy.
Just underscores the fact that we know that this virus doesn't respect geopolitical borders very well.
Wisconsin just extended a stay-at-home order through May 26th, but Minnesota and other states in the coalition can make their own judgments. Republican Senate Majority Leader Paul Gazelka tweeted today that, quote, "It's time to begin safely reopening our state," but the Walz administration doesn't seem as eager.
Doing that prematurely or where we don't have the measures in place to assess the safety of a workplace can really backfire and put you in a worse situation than we are today.
The spokesperson for the governor told me today that they'll certainly take the federal guidelines into account as one of the factors they use to decide when to start slowly reopening the economy. And we'll get a little bit more clarity tomorrow at a 2 o'clock press conference that is scheduled. We'll hear from Governor Walz there tomorrow afternoon. Back to you.